Just making sure we're being recorded. Otherwise, this is for naught. In the studio today is Mr. Mike Carcomo. Did I say that right, Mike?
Yes.
Good morning, sir. Carcomo.
Morning.
There you go. I'm sorry.
Good morning, Mr. Mike.
Here from All About Fire, Inc. Give us a call at 855-693-4897. You can give Mike a question or myself or Mr. Alonso, or you can email us at realestaterantradio@gmail.com. We won't get the email. There we go. We won't get the email during the show, but in future shows, we'll get your questions on the air, and we'll see if we can answer it for you if you have a problem or a story. I think, Mr. Alonso, how are you doing today anyway, Mr. Alonso?
Well, the truth, Alex, I'm feeling a little blue today. I got I'm mourning a good friend of mine that passed away last night, and
she passed away. It was sudden. Was it sudden death?
Well, it was. She was sick of cancer. She was a good friend of mine, neighbor of mine, and I want to get my condolences on the air, if I may, Alex.
Absolutely.
My condolences go out to the Ariano family. Please accept, heartfelt sympathy for your loss. May you find peace and comfort, knowing that we cared about your mom, and may she rest in peace. Mamá Gloria, descanses en paz, que estés en la gloria. Thanks, Alex.
Moment of silence for her. And in the house today, Mr. Mike will be representing his company. And
Well, it's not my company.
it's not your company. Okay.
No, I'm not. I'm just a technician at the company.
Representing what it is that you do. What it is that you do, Mike?
Well, I work for a company called Quad Band International and All About Fire. Basically, there are two departments. We're a company that focuses on fire prevention and the engineering and maintenance on kitchen equipment.
Now, thank you for joining this morning, by the way, Mike, because you had mentioned that you're working like on 2 hours sleep.
Yeah, at this moment, yeah, honestly,
and
that's very long day, and night, but sometimes you have to do what you got to do.
Welcome to my world, Mr. Mike.
Yeah, you guys that work nights, but I know how you do it. I need my sleep, but the real reason is because you need to have the restaurants that you're working at or the kitchens that you're working at vacant or not being used while you're installing some of these fire and sprinkler systems.
Well, basically, it depends on the situation. Most of the customers that we deal with is restaurants, so we try to be convenient for them. We do honestly do it in the daytime and nighttime. It depends on the customer. Obviously, cost matters at that moment, at that time.
I see.
What is exactly you guys are doing,
Well,
Mike?
basically, we do different services. Like in the fire protection side, we do the kitchen equipment system servicing and installation. These systems have to be serviced every 6 months. If you have a restaurant or there's certain requirements that you have to have if you're running a business, like a restaurant, apartment complex, trailer park, the list goes on and on. So what we do is we try to cater on management and servicing.
So it's not just refilling the fire extinguisher. The reason I ask is because I previously used to work at a county facility where I seen how the actual hands-on of how they do the fire extinguishers, and boy, is it's a job. When we're
So you're talking
about
the plant where they refill them and stuff?
No, actually they go on site and they take their truck with like a kind of powder coating that they put in the fire extinguisher, and they refill them. Make sure that the pressure is at the correct leverage, and then they're replacing. I'm talking about a building, a 5-story building where there's over 200 fire extinguishers, and it's quite a mission, to go and find every fire extinguisher and replace it. Make sure that the tags are up to date, and then the fire marshal will come out and inspect and make sure that everything was done correctly and that they're at its certain gauge pressure is at proper level.
You got it down to the point. If you need a job, let me know. I'll call my boss up right away. Hey, 'cause you got it. But exactly, a fire extinguisher is so important to be serviced. A lot of people don't understand that these extinguishers, the powder hasn't been moved for a while because usually they stay in the same position. Pressure does leak. These are items that are
They're fallible.
they can,
Yeah, they're
it's
fallible.
material that actually it's
And
that
it could corrode and
it
deteriorate,
corrode
right?
water. Has the elements, the ambient temperature outside matters as well. But just to get into certain little requirements that we have to do, just with the extinguishers. But we do more than that. We do the UL 300 systems for the kitchens. We do the spray booths for
Painting facilities.
painting facilities, cars, vans, that
Oh, so
items that they
so
actually.
the body shops need fire extinguishers up
Yeah,
there?
actually, they have a UL 300 system, and basically they work almost similar as the kitchen hood system.
Wow.
It's designed for. There's a link that's connected to the whole system, and soon as it meets a certain degree, the system disactivates itself.
And that's
I
why
see.
that's why they're banned in certain areas. There's nowadays you can there's certain sections of the cities where they're only allowed. They have to be in commercial
You're,
the
you're,
spray booths.
you're talking about the auto
Well,
the auto body places?
anywhere there's a spray booth, it has to be approved by the city, and
Yeah.
it's not you can just
Well-
spray anywhere. So it's a complicated
Wow.
process that goes through that.
Well, you got air ventilation that matters a lot in there. You got heat, that you have to have the right. The building has to breathe. You know what I mean? Wherever they're spraying. What you mean is that there is certain cities that will allow you to do that. I really don't know the legalities on that, but the reason that a lot of people don't have a spray booth is because it's pretty costly. We're talking about you're building practically a house with an air ventilation that breathes, you know what I mean, that inhales and exhales. And now we're talking that it has a fire protection system too in case any type of big fire would happen. It's already prevented. But again, yeah, so many different type of areas that we cover, again, from the restaurant owner to the landlord of the property to the again, trailer parks, so many different areas that we cater to. Just to get into one short little topic, we do a lot of servicing on trailer parks. A lot of trailer parks, the landlord is leasing the area out, with the housing, and those departments have to have a fire extinguisher. Each individual has to have a fire extinguisher inside. We were talking about last time with you about insurances and basically what will cover, what would not cover, and this again. We're in the United States. These programs and these organizations are created for the fact of saving lives. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
And one of the crucial points is that a lot of people overlook about fire extinguishers is that they're the first line of defense, or the front line, for anything that goes wrong in saving your property, and
Yeah,
in
we
case
got
of an
a
emergency,
we got a
anything,
picture up of something here that was actually on your website, Mike, of a fire. Looks like it started up out over the hood. It looks like up onto the ceiling. It's interesting that somebody even got this picture because it looks pretty hot. But here at the Real Estate Rant Radio, we try to cover the things that are going on behind real estate, and you kind of covered that a little bit in terms of the requirements the city has.
yeah,
You mentioned that we need a fire extinguisher every 40 feet.
yeah.
You mentioned a mobile home park.
Yeah, well, just to get into something that's related to you guys is basically the apartment complexes. You're a landlord, right? There are certain requirements and restrictions that some cities give you, but there is state laws too that we have to get certified by and we have to abide by to do our work. But sometimes it's lack of knowledge what happens. So like an apartment complex, like you said, every 40 feet there has to be a fire extinguisher. Each individual, if you're renting me a property and you're giving me the unit, you have to give me a fire extinguisher with it as well. You know what I mean? These are little legalities that what can happen in case of an accident, So it all comes down to money and liability. who's responsible.
And not only that, Mike, but there's actual certain ways to use that fire extinguisher. There was a whole class when I was working at the facility where the fire department actually went to the facility and showed us how to use the fire extinguisher. And actually, they talked about different kind of fire extinguishers. Because correct me if I'm wrong, Mike. They have different formulas inside the
Yes, correct.
inside the
Correct. Not every extinguisher is what do you think it's for. Each extinguisher has labels on the extinguisher, like the ABC extinguishers that are for wood, trash, and then B for electrical, and C is for liquids or any type of flammables. Where you have a K class extinguisher that is chrome. The ABC usually is red. A K class extinguisher that's chrome.
Excuse me, Mike. We're coming up on a break. Hold that thought.
Don't touch that mouse. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more Real Estate Rant.
Ticketsurgeon.com. Reach us at 855-WIN-4-199.
Did you get caught speeding, texting while driving, or doing anything else you weren't supposed to do?
Give us a call. Don't miss work. Don't lose out on the money. Don't get any more points. What about your insurance? Let us fight for you. Ticketsurgeon.com at 855-WIN-4-199.
Are you watching the game at home? Why? Come watch it at Mambo Grill, the hottest spot in Downey. You'll have good food, drinks, and a great time at a low price. We have the coldest beer in our sports bar, where you can enjoy the game on any of our huge flat screen TVs. And when your home team wins, you get 25% off anything in Mambo Grill. We're on Downey Avenue, 1 block north of Firestone, or visit us on the web. Mambo Grill. Love at first bite.
What up, foodie freaks? It's Chef Bev Lazo with the Culinary Trend Show. Join me and my brigade every Thursday night from 8 to 9 p.m. where we will be cooking up some crazy stuff that will give you the appetite for discussion. It's all about the good food, good friends, and good times. Only here on RantRadioNetwork.com.
We are the Three Guys Rant with Arvin, Mike, and Phil.
Coming to you on the Rant Radio Network every Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can call us at 855-69-THE-3-GUYS.
It's not the Three Guys. This is why you should turn in, because one has Tourette's. The other one's illiterate.
You really should listen in. You never know what's going to happen.
855-69-3-GUYS. G-U-Y-S and the number 3, not the.
Faces for radio, voices for the deaf.
Look forward to talking to you.
Hey, I'm audio candy. I don't know about you guys.
Hi, I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez.
And I'm Kelly V. Dolan.
And we are excited to announce our show Live with Aaron and Kelly is on Rant Radio Network. What do we talk about on our show, Kelly?
We talk about everything from entertainment to business and tech, and we have a few laughs in between.
That's right. Go check us out on RantRadioNetwork.com. That's RantRadioNetwork.com.
Check it out.
Live from the Rant Radio Network,
You're listening to Real Estate Rant with your host, Alex Alanis.
and your co-host, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
No problems, just solutions for real estate needs, hot topics, and controversial chat. All right, and we're back here at the Real Estate Rant at the
Towers,
well, I'm starting to see the blessed grounds
the blessed grounds.
at the towers of the Rant Radio Network here. And just a quick shout out to the Three Guys Rant and Rant Radio Network for giving us the opportunity to do the show and empower our community and the folks in our community with their businesses and strengthen their families and friends.
You have any questions, make sure you give us a call at 855-693-4897. Give us a call, and we'll try to answer any question the best we could. Join us back is Mike Carcoma. Is that right?
Carcamo.
Carcamo.
Yes, sir.
And we were discussing fire extinguishers and sprinkler systems. And what else did you guys do, Mike?
Basically, UL 300 systems.
And we were talking earlier about the types of fire extinguishers, but I think we kind of jumped the gun a little bit. I wanted to know a little bit more about you, Mike. How did you get interested in fire extinguishers, and how did you get interested in that area of business?
Well, sometimes it's networking. It's based off of who you know. Exposure. A lot of people don't know about the type of work that we do. A lot of people don't know how much effort it takes and how much studying it takes because it does require us to have certifications.
Yeah, you look tired, Mike. I'll tell
Yes,
you.
yeah, I'm very tired.
You're
but,
working on. You're working on 2 hours sleep tonight.
you know what? But I got to keep going. Go home, go to sleep 3 hours, and go at it again.
Right on, right on. So how long you been in the business now?
Actually, I've been myself in a business for 4 years. I've been a technician. It's a lot of stuff that I could tell you that those 4 years ago happened. But
And
yeah.
there's certain certification that you need to get. You were commenting about it. There's one in particular here. It says C16 and an E certification.
Yeah,
What is
certification. C16 license is for you to do servicing on fire extinguishers. The state of California requires you to get a certification. That means you have to go to, you have to send a check, obviously, for the application, and they send you to a location where they give you a manual, and you have to read it, pass the test right away. Right after that, they'll take a picture of your ID, a picture of yourself, and your fingerprint.
Is it a state certification?
Yeah, it's a
Mike?
state. It's a state
Okay.
certification, and that allows you to carry and service and sell fire extinguishers.
Right.
That's for the
and,
C16.
and the systems that you install.
Yes, sir.
As well. Well, that's interesting. The health department, fire department, they don't get involved.
Yes,
at all?
the fire department is very involved. The health department is very involved. Yeah, actually, the cities get involved too. Just to give you a quick idea, when we do inspections for our installations for our fire systems, for kitchen systems, we're required to do plans and permits.
Oh, I see. So you got to drop some plans as well.
Yes, sir.
I think we actually pulled the plan off your website. Phil, maybe you could take a look there and see. There was a plan that I pulled off your website last night, and I could see where you have some of the units and then where they lead off to, and then where you have all of that has to be thought out.
Yeah,
So no situation is unique.
Pretty much,
Or
you
every
know.
situation is unique. I mean,
Yeah. A lot of these systems are pre-engineered systems, but it still takes a lot of thinking because not everything is the same.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, there's
So that's one of our plans that we draw up. Looks fairly simple, but at the same time, there's a lot of stuff going on there.
And can you elaborate what is that or what particular?
Well, right there,
what
what
are we looking at there?
What you're looking at is a kitchen hood system, and basically what that is in case if there's a fire under a restaurant, if they're cooking, and there's a fire, basically the system can activate by itself, or you can activate it manually. So the system has a link inside the hood, and these links reach up to 450 degrees. They melt, and the system comes and drops the agent. Right there, the picture before that, there's a pull station. You can actually activate that as well manually. So let's say if there's a fire, you come and you pull in that pull station, and the system is designed to drop the chemical and the agent so it can make sure. And that's the bottle right there, and that's the head mechanism right there on the far right.
Is that where activates all the sprinkler system as well? or
Yes,
is that-
everything is connected together. So more likely, if the system dumps, then that's what we call it. You know, when it drops the agent, the fire alarm gets activated. The fire department get usually contacted if it's connected to a fire alarm, and then the health department gets
So if it goes off, the 911 is called automatically.
automatically.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay, so that's part of the system.
Well, remember that while I was telling you there's plans and permits, well, those are codes and restrictions that the state and city gives us.
Now, who's responsible for putting this stuff in? Is it the business owner? Is it the building landlord?
Well, there's two responsibilities. There is responsibility on the landlord and the renter, that we could say the tenant.
Tenant.
If you're leasing the property as a restaurant and the restaurant doesn't have these systems, then basically you're liable at this moment, at this time. The reason for it is because, the landlord is liable because when you rent something, you have to rent it at working conditions. I can't tell you, well, I'm going to rent it to you and it's halfway thing. But if the restaurant owner gives you something that's up to code, and during the time that you're in service, certain codes change and you have to do certain adaptations or whatever the scenario is, then it's the tenant's responsibility to do those changes.
Mike, and one question before I lose my chain of thought. If someone had just leased into a building that's going to open up a restaurant, is it something that you can come in and do and check out their hood, their ranges, and their...
We just leased one out. That's why.
Well, that's why I'm asking, because I mean, in my head's working right now,
Yeah,
Mike, and I'm
exactly.
kind of saying...
We're going to pick your brain, Mike.
And so is that something we can do? Call you in and you could go check out the ranges, the sprinkler system, all that, and give us an idea of what's in working order now?
Pretty much. We cater a lot to restaurants. Our focus is mostly restaurants. We do a lot of department stores. We really don't do that much residential, but we do rental properties, and we do a lot of trailer homes. The reason for it is because you're running a business, and if you're running a business, you have to be up to code and requirements. But yeah, answering the question that you're asking me, yeah, we can show up and we could check everything out. Our sister company, Quadband International, actually does all the kitchen repairs on all kitchen equipment. So from picking up your used oil for free to doing your fire extinguishers to doing repairs.
The fryer oil?
Yeah,
to checking the traps, also the grease traps, and all that.
Anything that has to deal with your kitchen.
So pretty much you can tell us this is what needs to be repaired, this is what you need to change out. And
we charge a service charge to go out to the restaurant, and what we do is we provide you a full diagram and diagnostic on all the equipment. So it's something that you could analyze, and when you're doing any type of bargaining or anything like that, you could use that as leverage, because now you can say, hey, look.
That's good to know, because like Alex said, now I'm going to come off like Superman, you know, I'm going to pull the thing, and now I'm going to say like, wow, oh, by the way, we need to check this, you know?
Well, look, I'm going to tell you very clearly, knowledge is power. Sometimes the situation, it's really easy to take care of it, but if you don't know how to do it, that's something that you're never going to be able to take care of it. Now, if you got somebody that knows the industry and can take care of the industry, that is a beautiful asset for you, because now you're saying, look, you're my accountant, you do my accounting. There's my maintenance, you do my maintenance. You know what I mean? So you're running a business.
Yeah, here's the chef.
And that's this is a purpose of us doing these shows, you know, to network with people and actually get educated and learn more about what different people do behind the doors of a real estate transaction and anything that goes involved with it.
Yeah,
and the transaction.
Our motto is to ensure the public trust.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of brings me to a story you told me yesterday, Mike, about you guys were sitting at a restaurant and the fire marshal happened to walk in. Give us a little lowdown on
well, you know, sometimes again,
not to badmouth anybody.
I'm not. We're talking. I'm gonna be honest. You know, we're talking about a situation that happened. I don't want to say what city it is because I don't want to put nobody in blast. But fire marshal showed up. Me and another colleague were eating, and sometimes the fire department has a lot on their hands, and they can't properly train on everything. So it's upon really. You can't depend on the fire department to tell you what to do. You have to, as a landlord, you as a tenant, need to know what's going to happen, you know, because it all comes down to liability, you know. And just to give you a scenario, we're eating. I told my colleague, I said, look, he's going to go look at the extinguisher, and he's not going to look at the stuff that needs to be looked at. And he walked in there. He said, oh, everything is okay. When I just got done checking the extinguisher, and I knew it wasn't okay. So I approached the fire marshal, and I asked him a question. I said, hey, just out of curiosity, you know, how many times does this has to be broken down? And what I mean by that is opened. And he's like, every year? And that's wrong. Every 6 years, a fire extinguisher has to be opened up. The chemical needs to be taken out. The cylinder needs to be tested to make sure it holds the pressure and holds all the stuff that it needs to hold, and then recertified. And I said, how do you know if something has been, you know, broken down? And he goes, by the tag? Yeah, he's correct, by the tag. But there's another way that we know. We put a collar. Every time we take off the head from the extinguisher, we put a collar on it, and that defines that we opened it up, because we can't get that collar in like nothing. So, again, you know, it just maybe improper training. But again, if you're running a business, don't rely on the fire department to tell you what to do. You as a property owner or tenant, you guys are running a business. You guys got to know what's going on. And again, it's lack of knowledge, because it's hard to get that knowledge if you don't know where to look for it.
And Mike, and that brings another question: is that the balloon test what we call, or what is a balloon test?
Okay, well,
that's a little different, but I want to kind of touch on a point that you just made. We definitely support our fire department. We don't want to badmouth anybody in the fire department. Excuse me.
Shout out goes to Captain Clark of Commerce Station.
Yeah, and FHC here at the Rant Radio Network. But I did want to mention that, like you said, we cannot depend on the fire department to take care of these responsibilities are really the landlord and the business owner's responsibility.
Yes.
The fire department, they're trying to do the job the best they can. They try to come in and make sure that there's no problems with fire at these situations, no loss of life, and you are actually taking care of the next level. You've elevated the situation.
Well, there is no. Too many people don't know about it. That's the thing. It's an unspoken thing.
All right, we're coming up on a break.
Don't touch that mouse.
We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more Real Estate Rant.
Looking for a delicious, fresh family meal that's ready when you are and easy on your budget? Welcome to Piara Pizza. We make our pizzas with handmade dough, 100% real cheese, and tomato sauce blended with our own spices. Nothing is ever frozen. We always have large pepperoni and cheese pizzas fresh and waiting for you for only $5. Or choose one of our specialty pizzas. We have veggie, meat lovers, supreme, and Hawaiian. Add an order of our amazing hot wings, cheesy bread, or breadsticks. Our locations are ultra-modern, ultra-clean, and open 7 days a week. Visit any one of our locations today, or check us out on the web at www.piarapizza.com. Piara Pizza. Fresh, hot, and ready for you when you come in. Stop in for your Piara Pizza today.
The experts know that for pastry, Baker's Bodega has it all. Exclusive brands like Westco Bankmart, Satin Ice, and Pastry Pride. One-on-one day seminars for cake decorating and gelatin art. So for our service, wide range of ingredients and supplies, and for the low prices, Baker's Bodega has it all. But you don't need to be an expert. Baker's Bodega, 7869 Paramount Boulevard in Pico Rivera. Come, we're waiting for you.
We are the Three Guys Rant with Arvin, Mike, and Phil.
Coming to you on the Rant Radio Network every Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can call us at 855-69 The Three Guys.
It's not the Three Guys. This is why you should turn in, because one has Tourette's. The other one's illiterate.
You really should listen in. You never know what's going to happen.
855-69-3-GUYS. G-U-Y-S and the number 3, not the.
Faces for radio, voices for the deaf.
Look forward to talking to you.
Hey, I'm audio candy. I don't know about you guys.
Welcome to the Monster Marketing Group, your one-stop shop for all your marketing needs. Anything you need to make that marketing and advertising campaign stand out, we're your people. Concept, design, production, social media, anything that you can dream up, we're going to make happen for you. And we can do it in a very quick turnaround. Please give us a call at 888-49-MONSTER.
Live from the Rant Radio Network,
You're listening to Real Estate Rant with your host, Alex Alanis.
and your co-host, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
No problems, just solutions for real estate needs, hot topics, and controversial chat. Welcome back here at the Real Estate Rant Radio. We have joining us today in the studio, Mr. Mike Carcomo. And man,
Carcamo.
I tell you, I keep messing that up. Sorry about that.
Are you been sleeping 2 hours?
You know what? I haven't. And that's the problem.
Make sure to give us a call if you have any questions at 855-693-4897.
Yeah, and if you get on the show, we do have a gift card from Stevens Steakhouse. They're located in the City of Commerce. Compliments of Carlos Cruz and Bell Gardens Chamber of Commerce. We also have, if you get on the show, if you happen to call us, we also have a teeth whitening treatment from Garden Dental. They're located at 7218 Garfield Avenue in the City of Bell Gardens. Give us a call. Give Mike a question. I'll tell you, when I was interviewing Mike yesterday, I learned a lot. Just sitting there talking with you, Mike, for a little while. We were talking there over lunch, and there was so much to talk about. Our outline.
Much.
Yeah, our outline actually got pretty large. We've had other guests on the show, and your outline is actually almost twice the size.
Well, so much information. Again, we're talking about money. We're at the end, we're talking about money.
Yeah.
Who's liable?
Well, not
who's
only
paying for
not
what?
only that, I think your industry has to do a lot with saving lives and preventing disasters from happening.
Yeah, exactly.
That is a big aspect of it. But believe it or not, it's one of those things that if you don't take care of as a business owner, accidents are going to happen. And again, these things are pre-engineered to prevent for anything being done. So if the state is telling you to do something, and telling you, hey, look, to put this system in, it's for a reason. You know what I mean? It's to save lives, but at the same time, it's just for your protection financially.
I'm curious to know, right here on the outline, you have a carnitas incident. What is that carnitas incident?
I was just about to bring that up.
I'm dying to know what happened with the carnitas because that's one of my
Tell
favorite
us about
foods.
the carnitas incident.
Well, there was this situation where we had a fire. The fire department gave us, the fire marshal gave us a call. We had to show up. We installed the system. We did everything to it. Well, when we showed up, there was a fire. And
well, you mentioned the business owner called you and was
no. The state, the fire marshal.
Oh, the
fire
marshal
department,
did.
because they saw our tag and they know we installed the system.
Oh,
so
I see. Okay.
They give us a call right away. So they want to know what happened. So we came into the field right away. When we walked into the building, we saw that the hood system didn't go off, and I was kind of bombarded. I was like, oh, wow, I did something wrong here. But then I started looking onto the far right side of the kitchen, and the fire was on the far right hand side. And what ended up happening here is these restaurants have these hoods, and these hoods are to do two things: ventilation of air and to isolate the fire. So anytime there's a fire, basically it holds it under and contains the fire under that hood. Well, what this restaurant decided to do is to get a propane bottle and a kitchen appliance and put it next to the hood, but not under the hood.
Underneath it.
And remember, the fire protection systems that we install are under the hood. And again, it's because it's protecting the fire, the kitchen's appliances. And they were cooking carnitas in a big pot. Some oil got into the fire. Next thing you know, it hit the ceiling. And if you look at your house or anywhere, the ceiling is made out of wood, and it caught fire. And as soon as we saw that, our system didn't go off, and then the fire was right next door, next to the hood. The fire marshal just told us, "Hey, you know what? It's nothing. Don't worry about it. There's nothing with you."
Were they cooking the carnitas in the large castos?
Pretty much. And don't do that in an enclosed area. You guys, if you guys ever decide to do carnitas, have to do it in the backyard. Always have an extinguisher with you. It's so important to do that. Well, anyways, make long story short, the customer lost over $20,000 because the insurance company didn't pay him a dime. The reason for it is because it was negligence. Something that had to be required by the state was not done. So, it's again, that's what I mean by this is a business and this is money. Yes, the systems are created to save lives, but if you're just choosing to ignore or not pay attention to certain little things.
And Mike, tell us a little bit about unlicensed systems.
Well, we're always required to take out plans and permits for the installations that we do. The reason for that is because we have to test the system and we have to draw plans and permits, like I explained before. A lot of restaurant owners, what they do is they get an unlicensed person to come in and install these systems. There was a fire just recently, and the cylinder that was installed had just air in it. Didn't have nothing in it.
And you mentioned there was a reason for that. Tell us a little bit about the balloon test.
Oh, well, basically, when we do our inspections with the fire department, we put balloons on all the nozzles. And if you go to the diagram, if you look under there you go. Yeah. See the kitchen, the appliances on the bottom. There's little nozzles that point right under it. We put balloons on there, and then we take off that big cylinder and we put an air cylinder, and we fire the system off. We act like there was a fire. So we cut the link, see if it works automatically, and then we pull it manually to see if the system goes off. And when we do that, air goes into the lines, and basically just to show that nothing is extracting the system, and the balloons just blow up.
All the balloons fill in the
Fill
different
up
areas.
all the areas, so that proves that the mechanism, the mechanical, and everything is working.
All the airlines are clear
and everything.
things are gonna.
So then you replace it with the one with
and
the
then
chemicals.
we take the cylinder off that we had air in it, and then we put the actual cylinder in there. That it's a new cylinder. All the cylinders has a serial number, so the fire department knows what's new, where has it been. Every time it makes a movement, it has to be registered. But again, if you get an unlicensed company or you don't get somebody that knows what they're doing, they might do some harm and put an air cylinder.
Well, you're saying there was an incident where there was a fire and they failed to put the canister in with the chemical. It was just air.
It's just air.
So it went off and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Obviously.
That customer lost around $48,000 because the fire department showed up, had to put the fire out. Again, insurance company didn't cover anything.
Yeah. So the insurance companies, we were kind of talking about this before the show. I felt that it would be prudent for the insurance companies to go out and check these things as well.
Well, basically they do.
Because they're getting premiums.
They do send an investigator before and after. Some insurance companies don't. It depends on who you're carrying with. I really don't know who does what, but they do that.
Do you guys give out a certification after right once you did inspected all the fire extinguisher? There's some certain type of certification where you guys give the client, or you could present to the insurance company.
What we do is we provide them with obviously a receipt, and then we put a tag that has all our information, like from the insurance to our address, our contact information, and our license number. So that's what the certification that we put onto it. But again, if you don't have no certification, you have to create a fraudulent one or
can't do it.
And there's state guidelines concerning tags on extinguisher refilling.
Yes.
You elaborate on that a little?
Basically, like I explained before, every 6 years, extinguisher has to be broken down. Every 12 years, a cylinder needs to be hydro tested. These are requirements and certifications that you have to have in order to do these tasks. Again, if it's upon the technician to inform his customer these obligations.
If the system goes off, most of these kitchens, if you look at some of the photos that we've been putting up, they're gas units.
Yes.
Does that gas keep going?
No, actually, our system, again, if you're doing everything right, we connect the shutoff valve, and that's connected to the gas. So when the system goes off, the gas shuts off automatically as well.
Wow.
So again, it's so important to take plans and permits out.
So it does three things. It calls 911. It sets off the chemical to retard the flame, and then it shuts off the gas.
Yes, sir.
All in one shot. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So this is definitely not one of the areas where we want to cut corners on a restaurant.
No,
So
definitely not. And we're actually seeing some. There's been some fires here locally. I know that there's a restaurant there on Whittier Boulevard. I believe it's Polly's Pies.
They just had a fire.
They shut down. I don't know what the particulars were of that particular fire, but it did say they have a big sign in the front that said they had a fire. Wow. So it's interesting to know why it's been taking so long for them to rebuild. Probably because of negligence, I'm thinking.
There's a lot of times there's negligence. Maintenance is very important. That's all the state is requiring you to do. Install what you need and do maintenance to it.
So how often do you have to go out and check these things out?
Well, the UL 300 systems, the kitchen hood systems, and the spray booth systems is every 6 months. The extinguishers once a year.
Oh, once a year. Okay, so they call you out as a subcontractor, right? Or as you're contracting, but they're calling you out to certify those things.
Yeah.
Who is asking them for this information? Is it the state?
It's a state.
It's a state. Okay,
state.
so it's a state. The state is asking them. They have to apply, get the certification from a reputable company, licensed company.
Yes.
And then they respond to that information with your certification.
Yes, sir.
Right on.
But
So
it makes
that's
us.
interesting.
It just don't forget. Just because I'm giving you a receipt, that receipt means a lot. saying that I tested everything and that everything is working. And if it doesn't work, our company is liable as well.
You know, earlier you asked about, or actually, I think Alonso had mentioned about the oil. Do you guys? What happens to the oil after it's used? After it's
the used oil, Quad Band International is our company, our sister company that takes care of those services. Basically, we pick up the used oil from the restaurants.
You guys do that?
Yeah,
too?
we actually, our sister company picks up the oil. It's a free service that we provide, and again, we would provide other services like the servicing of extinguishers free. So if we pick up your used oil, we actually do your extinguishers free as a restaurant owner.
Oh, wow.
We do other services like refrigeration to oven repair, stainless steel work. So again, we are a full service company. So
what happens to the oil? Getting back to that question, I'm
ask
still
that
wondering.
question.
Like, are you avoiding us, Mike? I know.
Talk about recycling it all the time.
Yeah,
you know?
nowadays I know that they use some of that vegetable oil for like cars or like
yes,
stuff
trying
like
to
that.
recycle it. You know, what's up with
well,
that?
our company has to make a revenue. So what we do is we try to charge you guys lesser prices, but we try to make our money back on the recycling of oil. We have a client that's part of dog food manufacturing, and they make dog food out of it. What they do is they clean the oil out, they heat it up for 4 days, and they filter it for 5.
We're coming up on a break.
Don't touch that mouse.
Hold that thought, Mike.
The aliens took it.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more real estate rant.
TheTicketSurgeon.com. Reach us at 855-WIN-4199.
Did you get caught speeding, texting while driving, or doing anything else you weren't supposed to do?
Give us a call. Don't miss work. Don't lose out on the money. Don't get any more points. What about your insurance? Let us fight for you. TheTicketSurgeon.com at 855-WIN-4199.
Welcome to the Monster Marketing Group, your one-stop shop for all your marketing needs. Anything you need to make that marketing and advertising campaign stand out, we're your people. Concept, design, production, social media, anything that you can dream up, we're going to make happen for you. And we can do it in a very quick turnaround. Please give us a call at 888-49-MONSTER.
What up, foodie freaks? It's Chef Bev Laza with the Culinary Trend Show. Join me and my brigade every Thursday night from 8 to 9 p.m. where we will be cooking up some crazy stuff that will give you the appetite for discussion. It's all about the good food, good friends, and good times. Only here on RantRadioNetwork.com.
We are the Three Guys Rant with Arvin, Mike, and Phil.
Coming to you on the Rant Radio Network every Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can call us at 855-69-THE-3-GUYS.
It's not the three guys. This is why you should turn in, because one has Tourette's. The other one's illiterate.
You really should listen in. You never know what's going to happen.
855-69-3-GUYS. G-U-Y-S and the number 3, not the.
Faces for radio, voices for the deaf.
Look forward to talking to you.
Hey, I'm audio candy. I don't know about you guys.
Are you watching the game at home? Why? Come watch it at Mambo Grill, the hottest spot in Downey. You'll have good food, drinks, and a great time at a low price. We have the coldest beer in our sports bar, where you can enjoy the game on any of our huge flat screen TVs. And when your home team wins, you get 25% off anything in Mambo Grill. We're on Downey Avenue, 1 block north of Firestone, or visit us on the web. Mambo Grill. Love at first bite.
Live from the Rant Radio Network,
You're listening to Real Estate Rant with your host, Alex Alanis,
and your co-host, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
No problems, just solutions for real estate needs, hot topics, and controversial chat. Yes, welcome back to Real Estate Rant Radio here at the Rant Radio Network. Again, you can give us a call at 855-693-4897. You can ask Mike a question, or myself or Alonso. You can ask a question if you get on the air. We do have a $25 gift card or a free teeth whitening. It's actually $250 value teeth whitening here at Garden Dental in the city of Bell Gardens, and compliments of Carlos Cruz and Bell Gardens Chamber of Commerce. Joining us in the studio today is Mike Carcamo. I think I got that right.
Yeah,
Did I get that right?
hey,
Huh?
the
Carcamo.
third is the charm.
There
huh?
it is, right there. And
There it is.
at All About Fire Inc. and his sister company with Quad Band International. We were talking about recycled oil, and they make dog food out of it. So
Yeah,
now
I want to avoid this question.
Now,
again,
now we
you
got
know what I mean?
now we got
No,
deep
not-
fried.
Okay.
We got some deep fried dog nuggets, right?
Yeah, pretty much what they do is they make deer food out of it, dog food, cat food. If you know or look at your animal food product, it's mostly likely been deep fried. You know, it's good oil. It's nothing bad with it, as long as it's been and it's through its process.
Well, I don't have a dog, but I think they like that deep down crunch. You know.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
You know, I know. I like that fried chicken. You know, so
The
that's
fried Twinkies, huh? The Twinkies is
Yeah,
coming
oh,
back
yeah,
on the
fried
shelf.
Twinkies, fried Snickers bars, right? Mike, we talked yesterday about Rag and Tag. Tell me what that's about.
Rag and tag. There's a lot of companies that don't really care about you and don't really care about their job. They don't take no pride in their work. And what they do is they go in there. We put a certification. What that certification is saying that we did our job. We tested the head. We tested the gas. We tested everything that needed to be tested. And what we're saying, we're giving you the thumbs up. Everything should work if there was a fire. Well, it takes time to do that. Not only that, you're dealing with oil. You're dealing with more labor. And a lot of companies, what they do, they just look at the system visually, and they'll put a tag, and they'll charge you $50, $40. If you get a reputable company, any company, if anybody comes out to you and tells you, oh, I'll charge you $50, that's a red flag. You got to understand, we have licenses, we have insurances that we have to, there's overhead that needs to be taken care of. The cheapest I ever seen is $89 for a service. Now, anything lower than that, you have to question it, because that's really cheap that we're giving.
I mean, Mike,
that we're giving for a service.
I mean,
you
Mike,
know?
but $89 is actually not a lot for. I mean, I'm
that's once a
reminiscing
year.
again. Hold
And
on,
that's once a
I'm
year, right?
reminiscing again because, like I said, I actually worked in a facility where I was going around the building, a 5-story building, over 200 extinguishers, and checking each individual, which took us all day. It took us practically the whole shift for them to get them all out and retest them again and refill them and make sure they're working. So for $89, that's a hell of a bargain. I mean, something like that is not going to run you $89. I'm sure
And
it's
that's
not.
every again,
Is that-
$89. That's the kitchen system. That's the big extinguisher that you saw in that big extinguisher. On the small one, we're talking about $10.
Yeah, but something as big as that, I'm sure you guys have your prices that are
And we have
adequate
to,
for.
and that's when you have to start asking questions. You know, why is this company giving it? You know, everybody's giving this rate and this rate and this rate, and this guy is just giving me a ridiculous, really low rate. There's something wrong here, you know. So that's what rag and tag means. That, you know, I just come in there, I just want your money.
We're not doing anything.
I'm not doing nothing. I'm
they're
I'm
just,
lying to you.
And that's something that a lot of people overlook. You know, they want to cut the corners, but like I said, it's very important because we want to make sure that fire extinguisher is gonna be in working order if something occurs. You know.
Well,
Yeah, that gives
the
us
barbecue
that
pit,
brings us
right?
to the barbecue pit
Yeah,
incident.
exactly. We had a customer had basically he was renting a property. He had a carne asada, and they were making carne asada, and the owner gave him an extinguisher, but never serviced it. You know, and there was a fire, and when the fire happened, basically what ended up happening, the extinguisher, he pressed it down, and just boop, nothing came out. What ends up happening is these extinguishers, they sit for a while, and after a while they sit, the chemical will settle inside of it. There's extinguishers that won't settle. We don't know. It's conditions, you know. I mean, a little bit of leak of air could cause that, you know. So the partial of the house caught on fire. Luckily, insurance, you know, took care of it and everything like that, because he provided an extinguisher. But they were making an issue. The insurance company was making an issue because that extinguisher was not serviced. So again, it all comes to liabilities and stuff like that. That's why these extinguishers have to be serviced. You have to open them up. We have to test the heads, you know, if it works. Because if your daughter's right there in that house and that house is on fire, you're going to be kicking yourself in the butt, knowing the fact that you could have saved your whole house. You could have saved your family maybe just with $10.
And one of the things is, Mike, that they're like parachutes, you know, because it's like you want to make sure when you jump off that plane, that parachute's gonna open. The same with the fire extinguisher,
Yeah,
But the
wow.
thing is, you cannot test it though. Like it's like you're running on what somebody's telling you to test it, because once they're one shot use, right?
Yeah.
Well, we'll light up a little pallet in your backyard.
Yeah, so it's not like you can
let's
test
give
it
a
and
try.
then spray it out and then put it back. Oh, it's working.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
then it's used. Then you need another one, right?
Yeah, so that's something
Well,
that you
it could
need a
be
reputable
refilled.
company.
It could be refilled. But again, if you're gonna pay somebody to do some, just be knowledgeable, be aware of what to look for. If he's just looking at it and he just puts a tag on it, those are, next segment. If you guys want to have me, or your listeners want to have me come over here, I can go more in detail what to look for and what not to look for.
You want to run out that building if you see one of those coming.
Well, I'll tell you what I want to hear real quick, because there's different kinds of fire extinguishers.
Yeah.
You mentioned three different kinds, and then also what they cover.
Yes.
What are those, Mike?
There's an ABC extinguisher. It's a halon extinguisher. There's a K-class extinguisher. Actually, there's around 19 different ones.
Oh, 19.
Yeah,
Wow.
there's so many different chemicals out there. I'm specialized on the ones I'm gonna talk about right now, because each extinguisher has its own certification. The ABC extinguishers for wood, paper, combustibles. Then B is for electrical. C is for liquids. Liquid fires, gasoline. Then you got the halon.
And grease too, right?
I read
grease
That's
is not
that's
covered?
not that grease is not covered in the
Oh.
ABC. The little small red one. Remember this, folks. The small red one is only for what's prevented on the picture. If you look at the label, the extinguisher. If you look at the label, it will show you three little pictures. Not this big one. We're talking about small.
Combustible. It has like a little light switch.
Yeah, but usually if it's red, it's usually for ABC extinguisher, unless it says for halon. And what halon is basically for electronics. So it's a special chemical that will kill the fire when it comes to electronics. And then you got K-class extinguisher. That's only for grease. You know what I mean? So it's so many different type of chemicals.
And
If you look at the
threw up
pictures,
some more here. There's some different ones up
yeah,
here.
Yeah, there you
Carbon
go.
dioxide, foam.
Yeah, so many different ones.
Vaporizing liquids.
That's not even half of it.
And it gives you a little description of what they will put
Just
out,
read
right?
the extinguisher that you have, and it'll give you a better idea of what to deal with.
I read somewhere, Mike, a while back about the B-class extinguisher that basically, to get an idea of it, somebody would tell you it's concerning liquid, because B is for barrel, and usually anything that's transporting a barrel has to be done. Is that?
You mean like JD?
That's Jack Daniel, no?
Well,
no, I'm talking
about
about
a barrel.
No, but like I'm saying, like a barrel it's
Well,
just like
they're
a.
Or you talking about the
using it.
canister?
They use it just for symbols, at the end, So it doesn't. You just got to look at the picture. It's so important just to look at the extinguisher. You can see the picture right away. If you see a slash to it, that means it's not for that. If you see
You can make it actually worse, right? You can make it worse.
Make the fire actually worse. Powder, the old kitchen systems.
So there you go, flammable liquids.
Yeah, there
B.
you go.
So that's one of the things they told you.
Yeah, so it's A for trash, wood, and then there's B for flammable liquids and gas, and there's a C for electrical, and then basically you got D right there.
So that was just one of the acronyms to remember. That B is for anything that's transported in a barrel.
Barrel, yes.
Liquid, and one way to remember.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. Well, Mike, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
That was all interesting information. The real estate world thanks you, because again, we're always trying to purport ensuring the public trust. Try not to focus too much on the real estate agents. The real estate agents, are out on the forefront, and they're putting themselves out there to sell property. But there's a lot going on in the background, and that's what we try to focus the show on. And again, the Rant Radio Network allows us to do that. Giving them a shout out, them Mucho Michelada and Blasto Flavor. Haven't yet to try that. Have you tried the vaporized cigarettes?
No,
have you tried
I have
those?
not.
And that would be that's your friend, isn't it? In terms of lighting fires and what have you. The vapor.
That's
the vapor
way not
doesn't-
getting burned. That's one way not getting
definitely
burned.
not getting burned on that. Coming up next, we have Sports Guru at 11 here at the top of the hour. I would like to thank my guest again, Mr. Mike Carcamo. And you can reach Mike. Actually, we do have a visual for Mike, but you can reach Mike at 562 area code 244-2193, or you can email him at allaboutfireinc@sbcglobal.net. You guys are located in the city of Anaheim?
Yes, we are.
And but you do all of Southern California? You guys
We do all Southern California.
You guys go out of state at all?
Rarely, but we have. We do a lot of Marie calendars, and frame boilers. So.
I see. Coming up next week, we have an addendum to last week's show. We had Giselle Mata from the Home Defenders League. So the reason we call it addendum is we're going to give it another try and continue on with her information. She was an advocate for homeowners that are losing their homes and to try and get loan modifications where the banks are not being responsive or cooperative with doing that for those homeowners. She mentioned last week that there was over 682 active foreclosures here just in the city of Whittier. So you can imagine here in Southern California, it can get into the millions. So interesting. I also wanted to mention some of the other shows here on the network. We have Three Guys Rant, Culinary Trends, Kids and Sports, Keeping It Real. Coming up next, like I mentioned, Sports Guru, The Dirty Truth, Sykes Accounting and Counseling, Cooper Talk, DM Narc Radio, Will Roberts, Weekly Telegraph, The F Word, Mommy Talk, What Honesty Feels Like. Usually throughout the day, there's Indie 104, independent music, DJ Mix, and, of course, The Real Estate Rant. We're up on time. Join us next week, Wednesday, 10 o'clock. See you then.
Make sure you stay tuned for independent music on 104 Radio Rant Network.